He's an ice climbers main from NorCal, ranked 17th on the MIOM 2016 Power Rankings and 4th in the NorCal Power Rankings. He's a tournament organizer, competitor, and is currently signed to Splyce Gaming. Today we're going to be interviewing Michael Nintendude Brancato. So recently was Genesis 4. Would you like to speak a little bit about your experience at the tournament, how you thought it ran, for singles and as a draft captain?
Honestly, it didn't really meet my expectations. Unfortunately, the draft crew wasn't managed very well. Not only did we have to redraft because of a player error, and that error being that Swedish wasn't supposed to be eligible for the draft, but at least when I was playing, there was no one actually managing the crew battle, so we were managing it ourselves. And at times, Gamer would run out and ask, who's going up next, because there's no one orbiting it. And we also didn't know what the stage rules were. I also wasn't really pleased with the whole winner takes all thing for a side event that it took 7 hours if they made it to the finals.
So as a TO, you kind of notice a lot of these little issues that happen during tournaments.
Yeah, and a lot of it was probably pretty easily fixable. I just think that the planning wasn't quite there.
Well, how do you feel that singles went for you personally?
I rated it probably around average. I was a little disappointed that despite getting top 64, I had literally 0 stream time outside of Smash Draft. I felt like the stream wasn't managed very well, and there are a lot of repeat players when other players hadn't already been on stream.
Recently at Don't Park on the Grass, there was kind of a controversial topic that came back up, which is wobbling. And players being booed when they wobbled, like DizKid Boogie, None walking off stage in the middle of the set. What's your opinion on this kind of treatment of ice climbers main, specifically people who are kind of wobbling heavy within the Smash community?
I think it's really unfortunate. These are just players that are playing to win, given the tools that are available to them. And ice climbers are a character that are struggling to remain relevant at the very top level, and strong tools like that are really what's keeping them relevant. And it's a gameplay mechanic that is not the same as some other gameplay mechanics in many ways, but it's still, it's just in the game. Players got to work hard to use it, and it is to me ice climbers bring a certain variety to the game that you don't get with other characters. Obviously you have the really fast technical matchups Spaceys and Falcon and stuff, but characters like ice climbers and Jigglypuff bring a level of tension that you don't get with other matchups. And in my opinion, it's a really refreshing change of pace. If the game was always fast followers playing, even that would get old after a while. And I feel like having those slower matchups kind of dispersed here and there, this makes everything better because of the variety it brings.
So do you feel like ice climbers really rely on wobbling to remain relevant in the current meta, or do you think there's an alternative that they could change up their playstyle or optimize differently?
I honestly think that ice climbers that compete at the very top level do rely on it. Obviously, there were a lot of older combos and chain grabs and handoffs and stuff that have been used throughout Melee's history. But as time has gone on, the meta has become more optimized. People have learned how to escape all of those, including handoffs, which really aren't guaranteed even at the edge, because Nana does a random amount of pummels and you can mash out of that. I see it not as relying on a technique, but relying on your character's tools. Wobbling is the optimal punish for ice climbers, and this with the same way that the top Falcons these days rely on a reaction tech chasing to optimize their punishes. Wobbling is an optimal punish.
Got him. 2-1, baby.
Recently, you were picked up by Splyce Gaming, and I'm just kind of wondering, how has that affected your Melee career? Do you think it's afforded you the ability to travel more? Are you able to focus more on Melee? What's it been like so far?
It's been great. It's been huge improvements. I cannot rave enough about Splyce. Splyce is the greatest team in terms of support. They allow me to travel to pretty much every big event of the year. I have the resources to do that, and they also help me produce content, which is great. I actually just released a video today with some teams highlights from a local tournament, and they, I gave them the direction and they produced a video for me. And that's amazing. And being in NorCal, and the scene here is really strong. There's a lot of really good players, and also I work at Twitch and we have setups in the office. So after work, if I want to practice, the setups are there and the players are here too. So practice is more accessible than it used to be.
Okay, so you mentioned working at Twitch. And recently, Samox came out with a video titled, I think it was The Twitch Brothers, which was basically, you know, Crimson Blur versus Bobby Scar in these epic duels in the office. Are Twitch tournaments really like that, or is it kind of overplayed in the video?
Honestly, I haven't watched that video yet, so I don't really quite understand the context. But we do have office tournaments occasionally, probably like once a quarter. They're really casual, and if I enter them, I can play secondaries or something. Yeah, but for me, I get the most practice just by playing. Doesn't matter what the setting is, just playing and just trying new things when I play.
Okay, so at Shine 2016 last year, you made history by being the first Ice Climbers player to beat Mango since Wobbles at EVO 2013. What do you attribute to your success in that tournament? Was it, you know, you playing super well on that day? Was Mango kind of slow? What's your opinion on that?
I think it was a combination of a bunch of things. I've been working on some new stuff that I could use against Fox, particularly around crouch canceling, that I was able to employ a little bit. I think I was playing particularly well. I didn't drop any opportunities pretty much. I will admit that Mango wasn't having his best day either. But going into it, I knew I had a good shot. I had taken Mango to game 5 before. I almost always take a game from Mango in sets, and it's always winnable, always.
Okay, so as both a tournament organizer and a player, do you think that you will be focusing, you know, in 2017 more on the tournament organizing side? You're going to continue to work behind the scenes, or will you be more of a player? You're going to, you know, if you're a new sponsor, you're going to be traveling more. You're going to focus more on your singles career.
So I still want to keep up the balance of being involved both behind the scenes and as a player. Kind of lucky that I'm able to still do that. But as a player specifically, I actually want to dedicate tons of focus to teams this year. I finally broke into the top 20 of Melee, pretty convincingly. And, you know, it's really hard to improve in the top 20. It's so cutthroat. Everyone is getting so good. And it almost feels like 40 players belong in the top 20 at this point. So now that I've kind of reached that point, I want to refocus on teams, which is an area that I don't think I've really been recognized as being a good teams player for whatever reasons that might be, despite having actually won a teams tournament and stepped off 11 last year. But yeah, I've actually committed to playing a different character in teams to try to become a better teams player. I'm not playing Ice Climbers anymore. I'm playing Jigglypuff and Peach, which I think are just better teams characters that fit my style better in teams. Okay,
so talking about doubles, do you have someone that you prefer to team with, kind of like a PewFat or an Armada Android?
Actually, I'd love to team with the NorCal trio, PPU, SFAT, and Shroomed. I think they're all phenomenal teams players. Obviously, I'm not going to try to break up the static combination of PewFat, but I think I can learn a lot from teaming with them at locals.
Dude, what? I swear to God, I thought Red Team was winning. And then suddenly...
So there's kind of a joke going around on Facebook, and specifically in Melee Hell, which is rest in peace Nintendude. And I think that people would really like to know, is Nintendude dead? True or false?
Well, that's quite obviously fiction, unless you're speaking to my ghost.
Okay. So you said in a previous interview that if you were to start Melee over again, you know, you'd never picked up the game, but you kind of knew about it, you would pick Samus as your main. Is this still true, or is that kind of changed over the past little while?
Yeah, I think I said that in a prior interview. I just find Samus really fun and really makes me think about the game. But nowadays, you know, I don't know if that's still true. I might actually pick Marth if I were to restart, because I've been playing tons of Marth lately. I think Marth is really fun, has a higher potential than Samus as a character, and he's also super stylish.
Nightmare disadvantage right now. Vic!
Well, I think that's that's good for questions. Do you have anything you want to say to your fans, to the people watching, to just Smash community in general?
Yeah, just shout outs to everyone who supports me, my fans. I love you guys. And shout outs to Splyce for supporting me.
Awesome. Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah, he's really good at just getting those shines in perfect positions to split them up.
Oh, wow.
The reverse back air looking kind of janky.
Wow!
That was crazy.
Get up attack to down smash?
Yeah, that was amazing.
Hey guys, thanks for watching. You can keep up with Nintendude by checking his social media stuff in the description below. If you enjoyed the video, make sure you drop a like, comment who you want to see us interview next, and as always, subscribe to Akshon Esports.